So what we're looking at is doing grant management inside QuickBooks Online. There are several ways to do this, and usually you'll want to use a few different ways depending on how you want to organize out your grants. Say we just have a couple that we're looking to do. Well, a great way to do that, and I'd say the first place to start is to use classes. The first thing you need to do is to turn on classes. So you would go to Settings, Account and Settings, Advanced, and then you're going to come down here to Track Classes. I already have turned on classes here, but this is where you turn on classes. Okay. Now what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to create a class for all of our different items that we might have. Okay. Consider classes are going to look like columns on your P&L. So if I come out here and I go to settings again, and then all lists, we can look at my list of classes, okay, which are here. And right now we don't have any classes. So let's start adding a few classes here. So a classic for the not-for-profits is to have three classes, one for admin, one for fundraising, and one for programs. What I like about that is, so say we are just going to do this with, say, 3 or 4 grants, we could do that right here within the classes. So I've got one class which will be admin. The second class will be fundraising. And we'll circle back on the fundraising one because a lot of times what happens within fundraising is folks want to see how their particular event did. So fundraising in and of itself is not enough of a class, is not enough detail. So what we'll do is we'll make a class called fundraising, and then I'll go through and show you how you can actually isolate the expenses for each individual event that you might hold that will give you the full data that you're going to want for being able to demonstrate how each event did. And then so we'll do the third class here to be program. So if we stop here for a second, these are the 3 classes that you need to break up when you're filling out your 990. So these are a nice 3 classes to have in any event. But one of the things that you can do here is now that we have these 3, we can make classes within these to give ourselves some more detail. If we're just running one program, then this is all we need. But if we want another one, I can do one more here, and we're going to call this one program A. And this will be a kids program. Okay. So now we can run our P&L, and I can run it by admin, fundraising, program, and I've even got a sub-program here for kids program. So when we need to send this to the IRS, I could just add 3 and 4 together very easily, and I've got that detail that I need right here. The other thing you can actually do here is create a subclass. I could actually edit this one and make it a subclass of program, okay? So now you can have 3 or 4, and let's make another one for, we'll call this one program B, adult program. All right. So now we have these programs listed out. We can actually assign any transaction we want can be assigned a class. They can only get one class though. So we're not going to be able, so it's either in the kids program or it's in the adult program, or it needs to be split between the two, or it's fundraising or it's admin. So then when we go into, let's go ahead and run a P&L, and we can see here, okay, so they did January through March, okay. Now what we need to do is we need to see this by class. So right now, this is your totals. This has got everything all added up. And then now I can come in here, I can have a whole bunch of choices to give myself columns here. And a great one is class. Now, of course, we have not put anything in those classes I just made, so we're going to have to add something in. Let's start with, say, this maintenance and repair here. This was a $50 transaction for, let's adjust the class on this guy. You can see now what it's done is it's added the class to my income. So in this particular income, we're going to say this one is adult program, this one is adult program, this one is also adult program. Okay, we'll save that. And this is going to show up on every single transaction. So now you're able to, in addition to saying the name and the classification and the amount, you're able to add what particular grant it's going to go to. So we'll go back to our summary here. And now you can see it started to break this out. It says, well, you've got the adult program, your total for adult program, and it started to give you more columns. So it's the same number over here, but now it's adding it up and splitting it out for you. So and the fun thing about this is that you get to have it or not have it. I could say, well, no, I like the way it was before. No problem. We just say, give me the total now. Or if I want it by that class, I can have all the classes. This gets to be a lot of a report, but what I like to do with these is you can also, now you could pull it out by that. I could say, just give me the adult program class. See, here's all my classes listed again. Actually, let's just do all the programs. So now you can see our P&L has been customized to just be a program P&L. I could say, give me just program, the kids program, just the adults program, or all programs. And the point there is that you can make any of these. Now that you have a class, you've just unlocked this whole functionality in here. You could make it go as far or as you can make it as succinct or as complicated as you want. Because the thing is, your board does not want to see everything all at once, and it becomes very hard to read. But now we're just looking at this program. And if I want, my personal preference is to just do different P&Ls for the different functions. So now this is just program B, right? That's all we have in here. I don't have anything else. They can see exactly how this program is doing, exactly how the adult program is doing. They can say, oh, wow, look how great this is. Also, if this was a grantor, they could see exactly what the outlay is for this program exclusively.